Hey there, this is Kelly Filgo, doing my little podcast thing for the Digital Learning Experience Project. Uh, in this project, my intent was to help my students become professionals. We talk a lot about becoming professional, becoming part of the workforce in our program. So I thought I would participate in something that would be of good benefit to my students. So here we are. What I did is I attended Dallas Aeromotive's online hiring fair that they had last week. And there's my name. I already said that, but that's okay. All right. So what is the Dallas Aeromotive hiring event? Let me tell you a little bit about that company. They're up at DFW. They are a great place for my students to go get a job. They work on, business class jet aircraft, smaller engines. They also do helicopters. They've got facilities all over the world, but they're based out of Dallas. It's a really great opportunity for our students, and they're willing to hire brand new students out of school and get them trained up on their particular systems. So it's a really good opportunity for my guys, and I wanted to make sure that I was there for them. I got, let's see. There was basically they had an event on Facebook where they had hiring managers and HR contacts were set up, and they just sort of did a big online chat so they could meet people. There's a big looming sort of event in aviation maintenance that's going to happen. It's happening right now, but the tipping point is in about the year 2022. The schools like ours will no longer be able to provide enough employees for the aviation maintenance industry. Just last year alone, there's a certain kind of maintenance facility called a repair station in the U.S. The repair stations across the country in total lost about $2 billion of business, not because they couldn't get the business, but because they couldn't perform. They didn't have enough employees to get it done. There's a big shortage. There's a lot of people are aging out and retiring. Lots of complicated reasons for that. Gap in people coming into the industry, over time. But if you looked at a graph, you'd see that the average age is about 52, 55 years old, which means in the next 10 years, a lot of mechanics are going to be retiring, and it's already starting to happen. And since we chopped shop class about 20 years ago, it maps right onto that. We stopped sending our young people into the trades and told them they all had to get a 4-year degree if they wanted to do anything. That's, our school exists to help fix that. So anyway, I felt like it was really valuable for me to do my digital project on something that was also going to be something that helped my students. So Dallas Aeromotive posted an event. They were going to have lots of different places for students to get hired into. They weren't just looking for brand new students; they're looking for experienced people as well. But anyway, they're definitely we're hiring new people also. I actively participated because one of my former students here on this slide, Nathaniel Widener, you can see him calling out myself and my colleague that helps run the program. Said, "Hey guys, do you know about this?" So that's where I learned about it from. So right there, we're already digital learning is already happening before the event even happened. Part of my network wrote me into something that was interesting to me. And if you notice up here, Daniel and Cameron are interested. I posted this to Facebook for students that I'm friends with, former students. And so that's two of my former students right there. I also posted this to a Facebook group I belong to that's made up of airframe and power plant mechanics, aviation mechanics. And so I think a few of those folks came in as well. They were really good about reminding us. They put it up a lot, so it kept coming across my feed, which is great. I even remembered to do this at the end of a busy day and a Wednesday night. Went to church that night, and it's bath night for the kids and had lots of other things going on, but because of the nature of the event, the fact that it was a digital event, didn't require my physical presence any particular place, nor did it require me to show up in professional attire. I was able to just do that from home, and it was really very, very nice. Um, they did a very good job of promoting it. Like I said, I was able to do this event from home. I actually was participating in the event while I was giving my kids baths. That's pretty cool. I was able to get out there and hunt jobs for my students while I was also doing dad jobs at home, getting kids baths and getting them ready for bed. So they kept it pretty casual and fun during the event. So the first thing they did, they just threw it out there and said, "Tell us who you are, where you're from." So I chimed right in. I'm not shy. Told them that I was from Texas State Technical College down in Waco. Immediately got the attention of two of the HR reps. It's Stephanie and Mandy here on the slide. Was able to start talking with them. And right away, Mandy there sent me a Facebook message. It took me a little while to find it or to notice that she had done that, because I was actually operating in about 3 different pages at the same time. Also spent time learning. Part of the learning I acquired while I was participating in the event was learn names and contacts for students, but also spent time on their website and their Facebook page just learning about the corporate culture as well. We've got a couple of former students that work there, but I haven't heard much from them about it. So it was pretty eye-opening. It was good to spend the time researching the company. And there we go. My former student who tipped me off to the event even jumped in there and talked up the school a little bit, which is really cool. So there's a good set of networking going. Lots of like and heart activity on that one, you can see. Yeah, and I was also able to even plug our 2 other campuses in Texas that have the same kind of school. So I was able to immediately get in contact with HR people and start that relationship building. I guess the whole event was kind of like speed dating, I suppose. They also brought on 3 hiring managers from different operations and set up what they call job booths for them. One of the questions on the rubric for this is, did anyone in the online community where you participate share examples of ideas of how they might incorporate discussions of information from the community into professional practice? Well, this whole thing was a live implementation of professional practice. So we didn't just sit around and talk about what we could do. We were actually doing it, and that's, I guess, sort of fits right in with the 2-year technical school mentality. Let's just get to work, right? Okay. I also was able to bring in or introduce our statewide director of career services, Casey Darnell. She's a person I spotlighted in the functional unit project earlier this semester. So here we are, continuing to put into professional practice that relationship building. Able to invite these folks to come visit our campus. So right there, Mandy McKibben is saying she wants to connect. There's an email or phone number. I could reach you tomorrow. Actually was spotted that she had sent me a private message, so we had a good chat in that little venue. So a little bit more private conversation, and was able to tell her some about the school and get her more aware of what we do and how many students we put out and that kind of thing. Also, while I was doing that, multi-threading, I let Casey know that I had been talking her up. So yeah, there I am. Sorry to bring you work to your Facebook at night, but I am a shameless promoter, and it's true. I can't stop talking about my school because I believe in what we do. We got a good product. And then she even came in and joined the fray, got involved and showed up. So there's, person number 3. And none of this was rehearsed or scripted, just people being available to jump in and get the job done. So this was really exciting. This is one of the coolest things I learned about this, was how easy it is to use a sort of digital environment to network with each other. It was really, really quite fantastic. The vice president of U.S. operations, general manager of the DFW area, popped in. He actually has a terrible picture. There's his forehead. Yeah, he should have had a different picture. But what was great was we were able to talk to him a little bit, David Higgins, and we were the only school that showed up to this event out of the 130 some odd schools like ours in the country. We were the only ones there, so I bet we made a good impression while we were there. That's Robert Capps is my co-lead, so he came in to chat for a while. And right here is my former student Daniel Oriana. He jumped in because I tipped him off to it earlier, and there he is getting offers to get his resume in. His first job out of school is in North Carolina. The way our funding model works, if students leave Texas, it doesn't really help our numbers. So if I can get him to come back to Texas to work, which is where he's from, and I'm pretty sure that's his goal. He was just willing to go move to take that first job. But it helps our program vitality scores when we have former students working in the state, because the state's putting in about half their tuition money as far as, in E&G budgets. All right, let's see. Oh yeah. They also did a fairly interesting thing here. They talked about their corporate culture and how they do a lot of philanthropy in the areas where they have facilities. And I think they did that because they wanted to test for character of applicants. They want to hire quality folks. And one guy on this thread piped in and said that he volunteers at his local hospital. Right then and there, they said, "Get a hold of us. Send us your resume. We'd really want to talk to you about working for us." Kind of awesome. And not every company's going to be like that. When it was all over, I sent him a thank you, right? Always say thank you. Send a thank you note. And my note here says, it's going to take creativity like this to fill the wave of coming positions as the workforce retires and as aviation expands worldwide. Just a real quick picture of that. In the year 2022, according to Department of Labor, the schools like mine will no longer be able to meet the demand of the workforce. Over the next 20 years, we need to add 8,000 more mechanics to the workforce just in the airlines, not private aviation, not business aviation, just in the airlines. Right now, all the A&P schools in the country could more than double their output, and we still wouldn't make that 8,000 person demand, which means we're really going to fall short for providing people to the industry, which of course is going to be great for our students who graduate. That means our pay scale is going to go way up. Anyway, so these guys are being very creative about how to do that, how to do hiring event. I really appreciated what they did and was able to learn a lot about their company. They were able to learn a lot about us, and I'm able to do my job better. And here we are a few days later on my email, having a conversation with Mandy McKibben, trying to find a way and a time to get her and her colleagues to come down and check out our school, have a little pizza lunch with our students and do some interviewing and let them know about what their company does. All told, I spent about 9 minutes engaged with chatting back and forth between getting kids out of the bath and into their pajamas and ready for bed. And who knows, we could be opening up a pipeline for our students, hiring, 5, 10, 20 students a year off to this company right up in Dallas-Fort Worth. A lot of our students want to stay in the state, so that's a pretty amazing time well spent. I don't know that I've ever spent a more productive 9 minutes trying to get my students jobs. So I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. It was great. See if I've got any other notes here. Yeah, I was able to get 4 colleagues or former students involved, all unscheduled, unrehearsed. It's the most efficient employer job fair I've ever been to, and I never once left my kid's bedroom. So I think that's pretty amazing and speaks well. Gosh, I've gone on for almost 15 minutes here. Sorry. I will sign off and just close it out by saying it really was a great experience and had a good time.